Hey, happy Sunday. It's September 14, 2025. I've got 3 immigration stories for you today. Nothing too formal, just stuff I found interesting that actually affects people. Changes in Metro Vancouver's growth, a crowded BC PNP pool, and a clash at Christie Pits in Toronto. If you've got a coffee, settle in. So first up, Metro Vancouver. The regional planning folks say growth has slowed this year. Instead of expecting about 50,000 more people a year like before, they're now forecasting something closer to 4,500 to 4,200 new people annually. That's a pretty noticeable dip. The reasons aren't mysterious. Federal immigration targets are lower this year, and there are new rules for people here on non-permanent status that are changing the flow. What I liked about this story is that it separates short-term pauses from the long-term picture. Even with the slowdown, immigration is still the main engine pushing growth over the long run. If things stay roughly as they are, Metro Vancouver could still see something like 4 million people by 2047 and around 4.2 million later on. So it's not a crisis, but it does mean planners, developers, transit people, and anyone renting or buying need to pay attention to how the pace changes. Now, staying in BC, but zooming into the provincial nominee program, the BC PNP Skills immigration pool hit 10,876 registrations as of September 8. That's a lot of people hoping to be picked. Most applicants are clustered in the 90 to 119 point range, and a big chunk sits in the 100 to 109 band. But here's the kicker. The province has only issued about 94 invitations to apply this year so far. So you have tons of hopeful applicants and only a handful of actual invites. That suggests the province is being picky, likely prioritizing higher scoring candidates or particular occupations. For anyone waiting in that pool, your score and the timing of draws matter a lot. If you're an employer sponsoring someone, or someone trying to boost their points, this is the kind of thing that changes what you do next. Improve language scores, get the right job offer, or update your application details. Those 2 stories actually link up in my head. One is a regional planning reality, how many people a metro expects, and the other is the gatekeeping mechanism for who gets to stay and work. Numbers from planners and numbers from the PNP both shape local labor markets and neighborhoods. If fewer new arrivals are expected and the province is issuing fewer invites, that affects rents, hiring, and community services in ways that play out over months and years. The third story is a reminder that immigration isn't just numbers on a spreadsheet. It shows up in public spaces and feelings. On September 13, police arrested 10 people at Christie Pits Park in Toronto after 2 opposing immigration demonstrations clashed. One group was under a Canada First banner calling for stricter controls, and the other rallied with signs like, "No to hate, yes to immigrants." Christie Pits has a long memory. Folks recall a 1933 riot there, so tensions can run high. Authorities detained people from both sides as things escalated. It's a tough scene because it raises questions about safety, free speech, and how communities manage protests that could turn violent. For people who live nearby, or who organize events, it's a reminder that planning for dialogue and de-escalation matters. Putting these 3 together feels natural to me. Policy shifts and point systems influence who arrives and when. Planners adjust expectations for housing and services, and those shifts can feed into public debates, sometimes calm, sometimes not. Whether you're a newcomer trying to figure out the PNP, an employer thinking about hiring internationally, or a neighbor who uses a park on a weekend, all of these things touch daily life. That's what I've got for today. If you want to read the pieces I used, I pulled details from visaverge.com. I'll be back with more updates when something interesting pops up. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I'll catch you next time.